Hey, Forge FC fans, it's your digital host Louis B here in the makeshift studio I call my apartment, as we're all doing our part, social distancing, self-isolating, making sure we can play soccer sooner rather than later. I'm very pleased to be joined by the head coach of Forge FC. Of course, it's Bobby Smyrniotis. And Bobby, it's, you see me twice a day, 3 times a day for a month, and then you don't see me at all. You probably got some Louis B withdrawals right now, eh?
Exactly. That's the thing. Once your face came up on the screen, it made it feel like we're back to normal a little bit. So
there you go. Good to see you too, my friend. And obviously some big news when it comes to Forge FC announcing a signing, international midfielder Paolo Sabak. And I guess just tell us a little bit about him and how you found him.
Yeah, Paolo's a player we followed quite a bit in the off season. From early on in the off season, just taking a look at him. He's a player that we earmarked as a potential guy to come in and take a role in the attacking midfield. Somewhere we're losing a guy like Borges, it was important to make sure we get a player. We also wanted to make sure we got a player that has a great deal of upside, a young player, and most importantly, a player who has a great upbringing. So with Paolo, we checked a lot of those boxes. He's a player known well to our coaching staff and Coach Peter Reinders through Paolo's time with the Genks Academy and with the first team over there. So he's a player we followed quite a bit. We had some good meetings with him, and we're glad to have him on board.
What does a pitch look like to an international player? And obviously there was some history there, so that helped. But how do you sell Forge FC? How do you sell the Canadian Premier League to a guy who probably didn't know much about it at the time?
Yeah, I think a lot helps with the success of the first season. So you have something to show a player, not only just our success as an organization, but just as a league in general, and what it looked like. And then getting into the smaller parts of that, it's telling the player, here's an opportunity for you to open your horizons, to play in a different part of the world. Paolo's a player who, was one of the top talents, young talents in Belgian football. And has over the last year or so maybe needs a kind of a little bit of a restart, and this is a great opportunity to be able to do it. And it's something we look at when we're looking at players. We're looking for those diamonds out there that we think we can help continue molding. And I think that that's what Paolo saw. He saw probably a great future and opportunity for him to come in here and do some good things and just open up his horizons as a footballer.
Obviously, you haven't been, hiding the fact that you've been looking at bringing someone in to kind of replace the scoring touch that Tristan Borges had. You said you'd have some guys internally that you would hope to step up. But, when you bring in a guy like Paolo here, does it almost kind of put the pressure on some of those guys? Do you hope it puts the pressure on some of those guys who may have been fighting for a spot on the starting 11?
Yeah, of course. The one thing you don't want a lot of in your team, especially early on, is everyone feeling comfortable. We've got a lot of let's say we appreciate the guys, and we know that they can do a great job on the field, and they know they've got my backing. But at the same time, competition is something that's very important for me, and bringing in some new players, some new blood into the team, I think increases that competitive aspect and what we're looking at. The one thing we never do, and I never do, is guarantee something to a player. And bringing in a guy with his pedigree, his quality, his background here, I think just increases the quality in the squad.
When you look at the team you got now, do you think this is kind of it? Are you set with the group of guys you have right now? I know you had some trialists in during camp, and I'm sure you're staying in touch with them. But do you feel like your team is as complete as it's going to become whenever we get to soccer again?
Yeah, I think when you look at it overall, I think our team is as complete as can be in many aspects before we even make signings. We look at every place on the field, and there's not really a hole. Is there certain places where you'd like to maybe increase some quality, add some depth? I think that's what we do with Paolo. We increase the quality in the squad, and that's what it's been about for us in this whole offseason. It's not so much making a signing, but making sure that player that's coming in can make a difference. And whether that's in game 1, that's in game 10, or later on, that'll be seen. So we're looking at the same thing. We're still looking. obviously this is an interesting time period in world football and how things go about, but we've got certain targets out there, and we're just waiting to see how things move forward.
Just speaking of obviously the what we're all going through right now with COVID-19, just I guess, I mean, the challenges are pretty obvious, but what have you been maybe encouraged by from what you've seen from the guys, talking to the guys in terms of being able to stay in shape? And I know you guys are a pretty technologically advanced club. You guys got them wearing the GPS. You're monitoring to make sure they're doing the workouts and they're hitting their peaks. But maybe what's impressed you about the resiliency of this team while all this stuff is going on?
Yeah, I think like with everyone in the beginning, it's different, it's unknown. We're going to be just training on our own, and that was a little bit difficult. Once we got into week 2, I think the guys enjoyed the program, and the guys enjoyed doing what they're doing. But we've also given the guys an opportunity to break up into groups and do tactical breakdowns of our team, and I think they've enjoyed those little things. And I think it creates a bigger bond within the group. We're maybe not together, but we're doing a lot of things remotely together, and I think that's important this time period.
This has been an important question I've been asking most of the people I've been talking to. When was the last time you touched that beard on your face there? Quarantine style. It seems to be the beard here.
It's been a while, that's for sure. My sons are having fun with it every day, so we've let it keep on going, and it's become a running thing in our house with the boys. Can't lie, I started cutting hair, so I cut my boys' hair as well. So we're trying to keep things interesting around the Smyrniotis household over this time period. So anything we can do to keep smiles on everyone in and around our household, we'll keep on doing.
That's what it's all about. Bobby, always love catching up with you. We can't wait to see you at the pitch, and hopefully we're back on the field sooner rather than later.
Thank you, Louis. Good to see you. And for everyone out there, all our fans, stay safe, stay inside, and let's get through this together.
Well said. Thanks, Bobby. Appreciate it.